Phoenix Down Radio is on the air. With your hosts, Klauss Nightbringer, Seyrr and Luna Vox.
Welcome everybody to 2017 and a new episode of Red Mage Radio. I am your host, Rusty, the Crimson Spellslinger. Joining me this week, we have our friend from across the pond, Pinky. How's it going, Pinky?
I'm fine, brain.
Oh, I'm sorry I had to do this. I'm so hyped for Red Mage. Welcome to episode 34 of Phoenix Down Radio. I'm your host, Klauss Nightbringer. Joining me right now, we have Chille. Say hi, Chille.
Hey, everyone.
Sorry, I'm a little bit hyped right now. You'll have to forgive me. It's been 4 weeks since we've done a podcast, so I hope you haven't missed us too much. And yeah, Seyrr will be joining us as soon as he can. He had a shift that went a little longer than he had initially anticipated, so as soon as he is available, he will be jumping into the stream and probably jumping on to into the show as well. Speaking of which, why don't I go ahead and bring us into the game? As you see, we've got a couple dapper gentlemen. What's up?
1 second, Klauss. No, what we're going to do tonight is take over the world.
Whatever.
I'm going to apologize for those watching us live at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio, as well as on the YouTube page when you if you watch it after we get that posted there. We're having issues with the in-stream chat. It's not showing up as it normally would. If you're watching it live in Twitch, you'll see it on the side, but the video component is not showing up, so I do apologize. I guess that has been an issue with night dev stuff, so we'll see if we can't get that fixed sometime before the next stream. And so how was your holiday, Chille?
That's pretty much it. I was hyped for FanFest, but it's
it was a thing.
I miss talking with on the podcasts with the words.
I had nobody to talk to. What am I gonna do?
I'm sat there Saturday nights going, welcome to... Wait.
Wait.
3 hours later. Okay, it's time for... Oh, wait there. What does one person do on a Saturday and Sunday night when they don't podcast? What are these things?
Well, I suppose we could talk about it, but then we'd have to definitely change the rating of the show. But as you notice, we also are missing a Luna. Unfortunately, Luna is not feeling well. She caught the Black Plague or something like that, I guess.
I really do hope she feels better soon.
Yes, she is recuperating from some really nasty stuff. So we all wish her a speedy recovery. And hope her computer gets better too, because apparently shortly after she started to feel better, her video card blew up.
Ouch.
Yeah. What a thanks 2017. What a way to bring in the new year, huh?
Wait, did it happen in 2017 or 2016?
I believe it happened just this week. I think it was Tuesday.
Curse you, 2017.
Yes, Nick Nar, she caught pre-post con plague.
Or guess that's a thing now.
Maybe it's just pre-con plague. Well, I don't know if she's going to be joining us at Detour, but I did finally get my reservation pushed through for the hotel, so I am going to be staying at the hotel where the con is. If you are going to be in the Minneapolis area in April 7th through 9th, Anime Detour is a thing. So you can come up and say hi and do the stuff. And yeah, may have some buttons to give away still. I have a few left over from FanFest.
Way buttons.
Yay, buttons. What else happened? Oh yeah, Luna did actually also place in the Eorzean Home Makeover Contest. So she got a thing. I think she went for the barding, which is actually kind of a cool looking piece.
Congratulations, Luna, on the barding.
Yeah, she actually got mentioned on Gather Together as well. They noticed that she won as well, and then gave her some props. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Ruby and Yelta from over there. We're working to get them to join us on an upcoming episode, so hopefully we'll have some news on that coming up. So please look forward to that. Anything else new and amazing happen with you, Chille, over the holiday?
Not really, to be honest. It's just usual stuff on Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, I beat the A9S.
There you go. That's a thing.
Yay!
I still haven't set foot.
It took us about 3 weeks of trying, but we did it.
Not even a
We
pinky
cleared
toe.
it.
I haven't even put it.
It was.
Nothing. 0.
We got.
No, that's
We got to 3 to 5% every like a few times in a row, and then we pushed through and we beat it.
no, that's awesome. I'm very happy for you. I'm glad that you. I've heard that A9S isn't terribly difficult. It's more
It's
just
very easy.
it's more of a moderate DPS check for the most part.
Pretty much, and the DPS have just got to pay attention for acid rain because it'll mark you, and anything near you takes damage. So you got to go to the right corner. But if you're not communicating right, people end up going to the same corner because all the DPS get marked with the acid rain.
Oh, so okay, so it's okay. I think I understand that already, and I haven't even looked at it once.
Yeah, you just run away from each other.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
Like
the segments, you don't have that much room, especially when force drops.
Seyrr, nobody puts DPS in the corner. Womp womp. Moving on from that.
We put DPS in the corner because we had 2 ranged. So
moving on. I will chastise you for that as soon as you get on the stream, Seyrr.
and then yeah, we miss you, Seyrr. Enjoy your food though.
We had some really interesting stuff happen after our last podcast. I found this really interesting little picture on Facebook, in a Facebook group, and I decided to tweet about it. And it blew up. And I mean, it went viral for us, and that was amazing. I could not believe that. For those of you who maybe didn't see it or don't follow us on Twitter at PHXDN Radio, we posted a picture that basically explained all the different Final Fantasy games in 1 or 2 little quick sentences. And it got over 1,500 likes and over 1,300 retweets. It was insane.
That's insane.
It's a rule: you should not attempt to understand the internet. It will drive you mad with revelation, like reading those Cthulhu books.
Or finding out about Donald Trump's position on that chart recently.
Yeah.
No, internet. No.
You don't search for Donald Trump porn, please. You're not going to
Come
like
on,
what you find.
Everything is someone's fetish.
Daltria, no, it did not blow up Samsung Note 7 style. My pockets are not toasty warm.
Toasty!
You can get neat little chemical packs to make that happen.
Yes.
They're pretty awesome.
Yes, and they don't cost $700 and burn with the white heat of lithium.
And you're allowed to bring them on airplanes.
I don't know about that.
At the very least, they have not been explicitly forbidden from
True.
airplanes.
Like a Samsung Note 7?
Oh yeah, you are not allowed to fly with those now.
Yeah, when I was going to FanFest, it's like, make sure anyone who has it turned it off.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Yeah. Well, first it was turn it off, and then it was remove the battery, and now it's explicitly not allowed.
You can't remove the battery on those.
Maybe that's why they changed it to not allowed.
Yeah. But then the other thing that happened during that time is we got that translated article from Yoshi talking about the translated braining issues. I can get there.
The translated braining issues.
Yes.
Of course.
Shut up. Anyway, there was a main forums post that talked about the jumping potions.
Yeah, that was really fascinating.
And, I mean, I loved the detailed explanation we got out of it. And when we posted, I created a link to it and did a little web post on it, and we got a lot of views on that too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a topic that I think people are very interested in right now. It's one of those things where if you don't have it, there's going to be a problem with more people joining. But if you do have it, people are always worried about. That was actually one of the things that got addressed in it, saying, yes, we actually have been listening to the concerns about you're going to have a lot of unskilled players. They shared a lot of their observations of what actually happened, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I mean,
you get so much speculation and so little data.
yeah, people are all like, well, I had to go through all this, so why doesn't everybody else? Blah, blah, blah. I had to walk uphill and level in snow both ways.
Yeah, but you also got to have access to the high-level content for longer than everyone did. Like, this is basic economics. You did it earlier. You got advantage from it. That time was your advantage. It's not a forever advantage.
Yep. And in this type of game, timing is everything. Having time-limited events or things that are relevant for a specific period of time, that's a thing with an MMO. With single-player games, not so much, but we'll talk about that here coming up in the game news.
Yeah.
All right. And we also had a contest between our last episode and now for asking for reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Now, we got to our 10 reviews, so we are going to be giving away 2 Bennu mounts. And I have the codes, and I will be announcing those at the end of the show. And we'll also read off all of the different reviews that we got. So look forward to that towards the end of the show.
Please be excited.
Yes, it's good stuff. So let's get into a
go
little
flappy flap.
Well, since now you're joining us, Seyrr, why don't you tell us how your holiday went besides the whole break thing?
Oh, did you tell them about that?
We did not, but I'm not sure if you wanted to talk about that on the podcast.
No, it's fine. So my holidays themselves, they were mostly fairly quiet. Ended up joining up with some friends for Christmas Eve dinner, which was nice. Actual day of and New Year's, I didn't do anything especially special. The last few days, though, I've had a car that had been in a few fender benders and kind of was in the I'm going to drive it until it falls apart stage. I figured that this would be the engine dying or something. This was the brakes going out and me very quickly figuring out that I could use the emergency brake to stop at lights until I got to the library. So I have a rental car. I am looking at used cars now, but not a fun way to spend driving back from your lunch break.
Yeah.
Everyone who has a car or other vehicle, do regular maintenance of it. You do not want your brakes to go out, especially when it's raining. It is kind of scary.
Yeah. That's definitely
sounds
a thing.
scary to me.
Glad you're okay, though.
Yep. But yeah, nothing super special. Little bit of kind of a quiet, reflective New Year's type thing, which is the way I tend to enjoy doing them. And yeah.
I got one of my sisters to join the game, so that's my Christmas story.
So, do we help her out, or harass her mercilessly, or pump her for embarrassing information about you? How does this work?
Why not
Can
both?
we do all 3?
Start with the embarrassing info, otherwise we might not be able to get it after the other 2.
She doesn't have much on me.
She's got something good if he's trying to dissuade us away.
You can try all you want, there's just not going to be anything there.
If she's willing to make stuff up and claim it's true, that is good enough for my purposes.
Well, Chille can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. So it wouldn't be as effective as having the... Yeah.
Chille, are you Klauss's sister?
Oh, you found out!
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun!
Genius investigator!
All right, so you guys can always tell us how you guys have been doing. You can email us, podcast@phoenixstarradio.com, or tweet at us at phxdnradio on Twitter. So, game and community news. We're going to start with some just real basic stuff, and this is kind of a WTF one for me. Those who play the different Final Fantasy mobile games are probably aware of the game Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Interesting little game, stamina based. You go through, you fight in dungeons. You can do. There's some explorations that you can do. You can summon new characters to join you. Well,
you have grind on the level of Korean MMOs.
It's getting bad.
It's been bad all along.
You can spend lots of money to do it.
Well, that's always true.
But the fact that now pop singer Ariana Grande is going to be in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius tells me what the fuck is going on.
I mean, I appreciate that there's a whole, like, hey, this is something that has, like, broad appeal, that they're going with it. I'm not entirely sure why her. Does she really like the Final Fantasy series? Is there something else going on?
I don't know enough about her because I just don't keep up with pop culture at this point because it makes no sense to me at all
No,
whatsoever.
Seymour. It's the children who are wrong.
But it's possible. Maybe she is a Final Fantasy fan and just has always wanted to be involved with the Final Fantasy game, and this is her chance. Or maybe she paid an exorbitant amount of money, or maybe her promotions company paid a bunch of money. Who knows?
Hard to say.
Yeah, but that's a thing.
Maybe she's just doing the theme song for Final Fantasy 16.
Chille, you're
They
fired.
probably are already working on that, aren't they?
Well, they would be starting work on 16. Yes.
They probably would have started on it already by now.
Yep.
Like long ago.
Yeah. Speaking of the mobile games, Final Fantasy Record Keeper currently has a 14 event going on, which Seyrr spent how much on?
So let's see. 17 pulls because I had been saving Mithril for this for months.
How much Mithril did you spend?
550 Mithril. Also, I worked a couple extra library shifts and set aside some money for gems.
And so,
I really like the characters, and it helps that the banners themselves had some really powerful items. Anyone who's thinking about it, Banner 1 has some pretty legit stuff. Like, it's not just one or two good prizes. All the stuff on it is generally really good.
Seyrr is obsessed with 14.
Hey, my Papa Limo kicks ass now.
And you mix 14 with Record Keeper, which he is also obsessed with. We are going to have to do an intervention, I swear to God.
Hey, they haven't had another 14 banner yet, so I'm safe for at least 6 months.
No, you're safe for about 2 days until the Part 2 banner comes out.
The Part 2 banner
is out. You're right. It just came out the other day.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't going to drop all of that on one banner. I split it between them.
That's right. It's the, I forgot, the new 13 event just came out, and the new banner for that's going to come out, Wednesday probably? So, Thursday?
Let's see.
Whatever.
Probably, because that event, for those playing Record Keeper, the 14 event does end on the 10th. That's Tuesday. So I would expect bonus battles for the next event to drop Wednesday, the 11th.
Yep. And, if you have not jumped into it yet and you do play Record Keeper, you can recruit Minfilia and Alphino. You should be able to get through the majority of the stuff to get your Memory 2 crystals for all the characters and get it all taken care of before Tuesday.
In this game, Minfilia actually does stuff.
Yeah, she's a freaking paladin. What the fuck?
Yeah, knight and support abilities. And
I don't believe this game is real.
Yeah, no, she has an ability, you can get a special soul break for her called the Echo, which involves her charging forth with a sword and actually hurting things. I imagine this is like some alternate universe version of Minfilia that was like, you know what, sitting around with the Scion headquarters is kind of stupid. I'm gonna do shit.
Yeah, one of her equipable items is the Holy Shield and Cortana.
Yeah. Given that there wasn't a Scion that really filled the role of Gladiator, I think they gave that to her.
Yeah, they kind of they did their own thing with that, but it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
They could have made a warrior.
Mostly...
Oh, wait, no, you already are the warrior light, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, they do not have the Warrior of Light as a thing in it just because of all the roles it can take on. But they wanted the relics to be the various artifact and relic armor.
Well, actually, they do have Warrior of Light, but it's the Final Fantasy 1 version.
Yeah, that doesn't count. They also have Wall, the Mobius one.
That's true. That's a little different, but...
Anyways, probably shouldn't get too into the weeds on
there
that.
We go, Luna. I want to call shenanigans on Minfilia being badass. Warrior of Darkness Minfilia confirmed. Luna, you are a genius.
Huh.
She snuck by.
Possible.
Yes. All right. Continuing on.
I'm back on the only mobile game that I'm ever addicted to, really.
What's that?
Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle.
You and your Dragon Balls.
It's an amazing game.
You realize this is a Final Fantasy podcast, don't you?
I know, but everyone's talking about their favorite mobile game, so.
But they're Final Fantasy mobile games.
Yes.
True.
Oh, speaking of which, what is it tomorrow that the New Year's event ends? Have you been playing Mobius much lately, Seyrr?
Yeah, I kind of spent a lot of time on the New Year's one re-rolling the notes until I got silver and gold chocobos.
Re-rolling?
Huh?
Yeah, you can if when you're going through one of those battles going up the mountain, if the chocobo doesn't show up, you can choose to flee.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't realize that. But the last 2 days I've actually yesterday I got a gold chocobo, and then today I got all silver chocobos going up. So I got 2 summons the last 2 days.
Yep. Each day I roll for re-roll until I get silver on all the nodes to the last and gold on the last to divert to the bonus path for more treats.
Bonus path, wow.
Yeah, if you get gold, you get to go to that little side bonus path. See, you get good fortune through mindless perseverance. There's a lesson in that.
Well, yeah, when you're a reference librarian, you have lots of time on your hands.
Oh my god, like, I can get away with playing this stuff at the info desk.
Oh god, now it's gonna get even worse.
No, like, this is already a known thing. I already can get... I went through the Record Keeper 13 event while I was on the info desk today.
I haven't even touched the 13 event yet. I won't do it tomorrow either because now we actually get experience Sunday again. So gonna level up my 14 crew, I think. So anyway, moving on. We talked too much about mobile games today. Final Fantasy 15 is getting a January DLC coming soon. Named the Moogle Chocobo Carnival. Now, we were hinting earlier about, talking about time-sensitive events and things like that. This is a single-player RPG that is now getting a time-sensitive event.
Yeah, I really am not happy about that.
Especially for the fact that there's 2 different versions of this. There's the free version that everybody gets access to, and then there is the paid version for those who have the season pass. They get more stuff out of it, yet it's all time limited.
Yeah, I actually had taken a little bit of a break from 15 just because I had too much stuff going on, especially with the car nonsense. And I'm a little frustrated about hey, I have to go back and start playing in order to be able to enjoy this content.
Yeah, I haven't touched the holiday event. I did not touch the Christmas event yet because I don't think I've played 15 since before the last episode.
Yeah, is there?
Yeah, there was a holiday DLC pack.
Oh, yeah, but the pack isn't time limited.
No, well, thankfully that one's not, but I haven't even touched it, is what I'm saying.
I think it's just added items or something.
Yeah, added some bonus XP, but depending on if you got the free one or the paid one.
Let's see, I did end up getting the season pass, so I've got the plus one.
I mean, I understand just from the perspective of why DLC even exists. I understand why this would be a thing. The entire point of DLC is you don't want your used game sales to cannibalize your new game sales. So anything that gets people to hang on to the game for a while longer, like having stuff that unlocks a little bit after the game's initial release, is going to help with that. Yeah. Industry-wise, I understand why.
But making that type of stuff time limited, that seems to go against that whole thing.
Well, I mean, that also means people who are dithering about buying the game and being like, oh, I'll wait until later to get it when there are more used copies. You can say, hey, if you wait until later, you're not going to get to enjoy this content.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least it doesn't appear that it's going to be super important content, but still, for the completionists, that's going to piss some people off. As long as there's no trophies involved, I guess it probably won't be a big deal.
I understand why. It just makes me feel like there's always the thing of I don't have the time to enjoy my games, and it feels like there's just more of that now.
Yeah, kind of forcing it on you. Mobile games, I understand that's their role. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to keep you going that way because you don't pay to play the game. You can pay for to add to the game, but the game is free. With these games, we paid our $60 to get the game. A lot of us paid the $25 to get the season pass. Yet, after January, you're going to cut some content off. What's up with that? That's my issue with it. And like I said, it's not an MMO. It's a single-player game.
Yeah, but the DLC for Hitman Malfested, at least it's free.
I guess the other thing I wonder about is...
Yeah, Malfested, I see you talking about that. I'm sorry, I'm going to interject here because
Go for it.
I listened to Chille's one of his other podcasts, PlayStation Unchained, and his one of his hosts, Neil, he is obsessed with Hitman.
Yeah, he is.
And those, they get those, but they're free. There's zero cost to those. Those different time exclusive contracts. They are free things that Square Enix is giving to the people. There isn't a paid option for those. Now,
but once they're gone, they're gone.
Yes, that's true. Now, I will take back everything I said if the people who bought the season pass get to keep this event.
I mean, I've got a season pass, so I'll tell you.
Yeah, I do too. But I guess I just haven't gone into the game yet, and it hasn't released yet. So we're still waiting on the release date. It may not be until end of the January. Maybe it'll go for like 6 months. Who knows?
The other thing I've wondered about, like, you have like a lot of these AAA, really expensive to develop games that still seem to stay at the same price point. Like, the price point seems allergic to moving above like $60 or possibly $70. And I'm wondering if it's something where it's like, if it was a price based on development, it would be higher, but no one will buy a game at that price, so they have to sort of tier off the pricing.
Yeah, well,
pretty much.
The economic concept of price discrimination for those who are familiar with it.
Well, here's the biggest thing. Games haven't gone beyond that $60 price point because people are probably won't pay more than that for them unless they get special things to come with them, like the collector's editions and things like that.
Right. But what if the games that they want cost more than that to make?
Then they do things like what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII, and they release it in different phases.
Yeah.
Or Final Fantasy 13. They had 13, 13.2, and 13.3. Final Fantasy VII, like I said, it's going to be different phases to that as well. I think it's going to be at least 3 different games that are going to be released. So technically, the game's going to cost $180.
Well, it depends on how much they charge for Final Fantasy VII.
I'm betting $60 a shot. That's what the pre-release is going for at this point.
I'm guessing 30.
I think it's going to be more than that because you remember how much game content there actually was? And they're going to make it so you can play each game probably standalone.
I feel like there's just kind of a fundamental mismatch between what people expect and between the realities of actually making the games.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. But like I said, what we're talking about is just all speculation. So we're just pulling straight out of our ass. All right.
I hope you washed it off after.
Yeah, a little bit. You rinsed it, a little bit cold water. Anyway, moving on. So we got an announcement for the Frankfurt Fan Fest, and I am extremely jealous of everybody who gets to attend that.
Oh, can I make my announcement now? As we're
how about right after?
Okay.
Right after. So the Frankfurt Fan Fest is going to have musical guest pianist Benjamin Nuss. For those of you who are familiar with a new World Final Fantasy series, he is the pianist that has been joining them. Pianist, sorry. Yeah,
enunciate that.
Exactly. That has been joining with that crew, and he is fabulous. He is an amazing piano player. And he is going to be accompanying Susan on Answers and Dragon Song, as well as performing the other songs from Duality. So I hate everybody who gets to go to FanFest in Europe.
Unless they smuggle you in their suitcase.
Yeah. But I'll be getting the live stream. But now our friend Chille here has a wonderful announcement from his other podcast. Take it away, buddy.
Though we haven't announced it on our actual podcast yet or on the website, I'm just going to tease it here as it's a Final Fantasy podcast. We will be giving away 2 European FanFest tickets, although you will have to travel there yourself. So that's still a pain in the ass for people. But if you do need them, we'll be giving away 2 tickets this month.
So
thanks to Square Enix.
Yeah, so check out their website. Was it psu.com?
Yeah, psu.com.
And listen to PlayStation Unchained. They are on iTunes and Stitcher. So for the details coming forth on that, I'm assuming the new episode is going to probably come out about Tuesday.
No, this one episode's actually already gone live.
You actually already put it out already? Wow.
Yeah, I'm now in charge of that.
Okay, so a lot faster turnaround, huh?
Yeah, a lot faster now.
Very nice. It used to be a couple of days of turnaround to get things going on those.
Yeah, we used to send it to someone else, and he just disappeared off the face of the earth. So now I'm just doing it.
So now we know that if the quality sucks, it's Chille's fault.
Yeah, but if anyone finds out the quality's got worse, tell me and I'm going to start fixing it.
Well, you got me
But-
here to help you, so.
Yay.
So that's a thing. Make sure to check those out and see what happens there. More Final Fantasy XIV news. For those of you who were around over New Year's and were able to go on to Diabolos or check out their live stream, A Stage Reborn had very successful performances of I Want to Be Your Canary over the New Year's weekend.
I am just still so thrilled that that's a thing that exists.
Yep, and it was so popular. I mean, they had well over 1,000 people who caught those performances live, either on the server itself or through Twitch or through YouTube. So, I mean, that is amazing that they got that much people watching that. That was amazing, and I heard it went fabulous. I was actually up with family, so I did not have a chance to watch it. But for those who did get to check it out, I heard that it was nothing but just amazing.
It was
effects.
amazing.
And
But was it amazing?
it was absolutely amazing. From what
It
I
was
understand.
super duper amazing.
They've already announced what their next performance is going to be. They're going to be doing the story of Maria and Draco from basically from like Final Fantasy 6. Sorry,
6.
I cannot. I'm having problems reading my writing.
So, absolutely important critical thing. Are they going to have the traditional finisher to the opera, or are they going to have an octopus drop a giant weight on it?
Well, that depends on what they can make happen in the game.
Yeah, I remember going to one of the concerts that they had. I think it was in Los Angeles, where they did do the aria, and because they could not be dropping weights on the performers, they actually did have a conclusion to the opera. So we got to see how it would have gone if not interrupted.
Why couldn't they have dropped like fake weights, like inflatable ones?
Logistics.
Yeah, I feel like that's. I don't know. I mean, given that it was supposed to be kind of like a little, like I just dressed up for that. It was a nice evening. I feel like that would have kind of cheapened it.
Maybe a little. Speaking of New Year's, Yoshi P sent out his New Year's greetings on the website. And he left us with another little poem of particular interest. Look ye where the sun doth rise, see crimson embers darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall, see azure lost amidst the squall.
Now, while a lot of the previous ones have been from the Mizela Chronicles and the like, this one was credited as an ancient Eastern proverb with an unknown author.
So, there's been a lot of speculation going on about this. Now, most people are seeing it as we're leaving Ishgard, which is blue, heaven, skies, blue. We're going towards Stormblood, Alamigo, crimson, red. Alamigo's in the east, and Ishgard's in the west. So
yeah.
That's where most people are seeing it. Some people are saying, "Oh, that's confirmation. Blue Mage confirmed."
Seriously?
Yeah, people are saying that. Because
I guess people see
azure,
what they want to
blue.
see. Yeah, I mean,
crimson,
the
red.
thing I would say, like, if it is Kurthus, that's a little bit worrisome because you have the azure lost amidst the squall. So that would suggest that bad stuff's going to be happening to Kurthus and to Ishgard.
I'm worried about. Well, I'm not worried because I don't like him, but I'm worried about the Dragoon guy.
No, you're not worried about him. You're hoping that it means he dies.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm just trying to be nice. I mean, we're getting a minion of him, so.
We get minions of people who didn't die. We have a minion of Alphino.
He's dead in my eyes. I mean, oh no.
Wait. Yeah.
What about Wind Up Thancred?
He disappeared for ages, so he was presumed dead.
But what about
Dress Up Thancred?
What about Wind Up
adorable.
Tataru? She was never gone.
She can never die.
She was never gone. So there.
She can never die, though.
There we go. Disproved.
Or maybe I think what it's talking about, it's talking about the squall dress up that we get at Veteran Reward 1440.
Oh.
Yep, that's what it is. I
I'm
nailed
only
it.
200 days away.
I nailed it. Teehee.
You're not allowed to speculate about things anymore.
Well, that is a thing we're getting,
right.
though.
Well, it is, yeah. You're just not allowed to interpret prophecies.
No, only reason I said that is because Squall. So, Squall.
Only 200 days till I can get that.
Yeah, I don't remember where I'm at. I'm still paying month by month, so I'm not paying 6 months in advance.
They did confirm that it's a subscriber reward?
Yes.
Yeah.
They confirmed that a long time ago, actually.
Yeah.
I thought they said something about how the current tier was going to be the last one.
No,
This will be. This is.
Squall is the last tier.
Oh, I thought they had said that the Tantalus one would be the last one.
No. They confirmed that Squall was going to be coming, and it's going to be at 1440, and it's the last one. It's level 10.
Fair enough. 1440, that's not quite 4 years, but pretty close.
Yep. All right, so before we jump into our discussion on Stormblood information and speculation that we've already gotten, we did have a thing talking about patch 3.5 at FanFest. And so who checked out FanFest, actually? I was up for a good chunk of it. I didn't catch the concerts live because that was 4 a.m. And yeah.
Yeah.
I stayed up until the concert, then I went out for food.
I didn't buy the stream. I was too busy with stuff, and I figured I'd hear all the details later.
Well, I did that because I was on call that week. I needed something to do, so I decided I'd watch it and live tweet, which you guys are insane. The ones who were liking and retweeting all of the things that I was posting insanely under the at PHXDN radio account. So thank you for that. That makes me feel good. But so yeah, there was a lot of good information that came out of that. You know, I did squeal like a little girl when they did realize that yes, Red Mage is a thing, and oh my god, it looks amazing.
Yeah, the first thing I thought was, oh my god, Klauss will like this.
I wonder how many people thought, oh my god, Klauss is going to squee. Seriously, I want to know.
Yeah, that's my first response when I saw Red Mage.
But
I was just so pleased with it. It's done well. Like, it actually is a reasonable melee magic hybrid. It's not going to be the, okay, stand in the back and cast your buff cycle, and if you ever think about meleeing, we will boot you.
I love how they're doing it, so we'll talk about that here in a bit. Let's talk about 3.5.
Oh, yes.
Confirmed release dates, January 17th, so 9 days. Our next episode, we will be in 3.5, so we'll talk about our speculation on it, which is why we're not talking about it as much right now. We're just going to talk about some of the new stuff we got. Part 2, they said sometime in March they're going to release it based off of how the progression of Stormblood is going along. I'm betting probably sometime mid to late March. I hope.
Yeah.
So we got the trailer, and it's pretty insane.
Which I've watched multiple times now.
Did you freeze frame through every little bit of it?
Yes, I did.
I'm really happy. They showed a lot of information in this patch trailer. Or in this patch trailer. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry, I'm tired. You have to forgive me. But I mean, we saw some really interesting bosses out of the dungeons. We
including
saw
Bulbasaur
and Fire Scorpion.
That's not Bulbasaur. It's based on the Aster Protoflorian from 13.
It's Bulbasaur.
You're
Okay,
Bulbasaur.
kind of is Bulbasaur. I'm Bulbasaur? Bulbasaur is like the best Pokemon.
Bulbasaur!
Oh man, that episode where Pikachu imitated Bulbasaur, that was just hilarious.
Anyway, continuing on. Some really good looks into Dune Sky. Is that the pronunciation? Dune Sky?
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's done scathed, but I want to say, just because it sounds more, even if it's not proper, it just sounds more Gaelic to say Dune Sky with Kat She.
Well, I mean, like, that one that looks like Chulane or whatever is pronounced Kukulin. That's why it was misspelled as Queclane in the Final Fantasy Tactics original translation. Lots of Gaelic stuff like that. It does not pronounce anything like how we would think it would be.
I'm very happy to see how that dungeon looks. The mechanics look amazing. I'm assuming that's going to be the Void Queen. That looks kind of like a mix between a Lolita and Harlequin.
Yeah, that's about my
Lolita Quinn.
expectation.
I think that's probably the queen, and that's kind of creepy. Anybody else think that?
Yeah, it did look a bit creepy to me.
I mean,
I do
it's
appreciate
cool.
that we seem to be getting a whole lot of the. Yeah, I totally had the words. Like a lot of the void scent that appeared in various other quests. That it seems like they've been doing this plotting that they're gonna kind of all come into be tied together.
Which is nice. I mean, they've been doing a lot of good lore with these stories and keeping it all tied together. It's really nice to see that they really work that hard to think that far ahead when they're doing these, to keep it all very linear and in the same world. But that all looks like fun. The Doomgaze fight on the airship is going to be amazing.
That's going to be annoying.
I'm just glad that it's the first thing we do. I'm just waiting for the salt. It's going to be hilarious. They did. Hanalia in the chat saying Diablos is missing in the trailer as a boss. He was shown in a screenshot, though, for Dune Sky.
Yeah, I mean, had him showing up in the Void Arc where he was kind of flapping around and making mischief.
But
so
if you
it's
go
hard to say what exactly the involvement will be.
Yeah, but if you go to the patch page, he is shown there, whether it's a part of a cutscene, but he does have a screen cap of Diablos in there. Or maybe it may be
what if he
the
shows up as
Famitsu.
part of the mechanics for the final boss fight?
But there were some interesting mechanics that were shown there. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Go now. Do it. It's only like 4 minutes. You know, you can come back and join us in a second, but go watch it. It's amazing. We're also getting a conclusion to the Scholastic and Hildebrand quests. We're going to be tying up all the loose ends between those and Dune Sky, you know, with the whole Void Arc side quests there. So we'll figure out what's going on with the Redbirds and the Sky Pirates and the things and the stuff.
Well, yeah. It's always one of the things when we start preparing for the next patch, you want to make sure that you close up as many loose ends from the previous one as possible.
And now this one I liked. I wasn't foreseeing this, but we are getting new Beast Tribe quests.
Yeah,
it's all the Beast Tribes. So if you have not been doing them, you better start doing them now.
Yeah, it
maybe
seems like it's kind of similar to the A Realm Reborn ones, where at the end you had kind of the unification of all of them. I noticed that they mentioned a new emote called the Moonlift Dance. I'm feeling like that's probably related to the Vanu Vanu Sundrop Dance somehow.
Well, it's from doing all the dances, and it's like a super dance, isn't it? From all the.
Yep. So I'm wondering, is this going to involve crafting and the fighting classes?
Well, I mean, the Realm Reborn one involved the Ixal as well. You weren't necessarily doing the Beastman quest for each one, but you were going around and doing solving some shared problem that all the tribes had.
Yeah, because the Mughals were definitely shown in the trailer as being involved with these. So I'm wondering if it's just going to be a DOW or if it's going to be DOH-DOL as well.
I don't think there'll be any crafting with it. I would be shocked.
We'll see what happens.
The Ixal's involvement in the combined one for Realm Reborn did not require you to do any crafting.
That's kind of sad, but it is what it is.
Well, it's mostly a unification of the stories more than anything else.
To get you up to rank 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah, you get some fun prizes from it. You get to see all these different groups coming together. It's pretty great.
Yeah, they do have some pretty cool stories that come out of it, so I'm interested to see how that comes about. Speaking of new stuff, we are getting new gear for battle and crafting and gathering. We're getting some new main hands, people, and they glow.
I really think they're going to be glamour based more than anything.
Yeah, didn't they say that Ironworks was going to be like the top thing?
But we have not gotten new main hands out of everything yet.
Yeah.
So I think
they had was it High Mithrite?
No,
there was a fairly recent one where they had like strong, like. I don't know that it would be a stronger one mechanically. Is my main point.
I think it will, because I think these are going to be, you know, the same eye level, because the current class for the main hands is I believe lower eye level than Ironworks.
Verifying.
I think Ironworks is what, 180?
So I mean, Hang on. Ironworks of
But I'm going
Gal.
to call it now. These are probably going to be from the new Zoe
So
Possibly.
the
books.
so the Ironworks apron of crafting is I-190. A high mithrite frying pan is I-195.
Oh, okay. Maybe we get 200. Who knows?
I think these will just be 190 or 195 glamour versions that you don't have to craft.
Yeah,
a
I am
possibility.
leaning towards / really hoping that it's going to be a glamour type thing.
Well, this is a catch-up patch.
We'll see.
But we're also getting new gear from Dungeons, new gear from Dunsky, and new gear from the Garo crossover.
So before we get to that one, did anyone else get a bit of a Metal Gear Solid vibe from the
Yes.
new gear dungeons?
And I love it.
Snake! Snake!
One of those was totally a Psycho Mantis inspired piece.
It's definitely interesting looking. I will give it that.
I really can't wait to get it for my monk.
I like the look of the stuff that came from the last Void Art quest, though.
The Dune Sky stuff?
The Dune
or-
Sky, yes. I'm trying to avoid saying Dune Sky every 5 seconds, okay?
But it sounds pleasant.
Anyway, I think it looks nice and it'll be fun. The Garo stuff, though. Really interesting stuff coming out of this. Okay, so here's the information that I gleaned from it. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's going to be 2 different versions of the gear. One set from Gold Saucer, one set from PvP. Gold Saucer stuff is not dyeable. PvP is.
And this is kind of a standard design thing they've used. They'll have 2 versions of a particular outfit, and the one that is more difficult to get is dyeable.
Yep. Now,
like the clothes I'm wearing, they're level 61 StarCraft, I believe. There's a level 35 version that you can make that's undyeable.
all right. Now, the mounts. You can get 1 mount from gathering all the stuff from the Gold Saucer, 1 mount from getting all the stuff from PvP, and 1 mount from getting everything.
Is that confirmed?
That's what I've seen.
Okay. Because that's what I was guessing as well, but I haven't actually read if it was any.
I don't remember if I saw this on
Information on
Reddit or if I saw this on Gamer Escape, but I do remember reading it. I just don't remember where.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to expose my ignorance here. I have no idea what Garo actually is.
Okay,
I
Garo
don't really know.
is basically it's like a darker version of like Power Rangers without the giant Megazords, I think. They fight like demons, and there's an anime and it's more live action though. And one of the guest creators for Stormblood, Kaita Amamea, I believe, is one of the producers for Garo.
I mean, I really do like this whole thing where it's like, hey, we're like these people who worked on these different things. Let's mash up our worlds. There's a kind of fun collaborative vibe to that.
But I think that's was probably part of the package deal to get him in to help out with the Return to Ivalice, was to have it, get this crossover for his for Garo.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you couple this with the fact that they are going to be getting rid of the Grand Company restrictions in PvP, and I see the queue times getting much better.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to PvP again.
Yes. And that new map looks amazing.
Oh yeah, that new map in Gridania, that is actually pretty
I wish I
freaking
could just
badass.
I wish I could just hang out at that place. Like, why do I have to fight things? Just let me hang out there.
Because, well, you could hang out there, but you'll get killed. If you're cool with that.
Huh.
Well, that's anywhere in this world. It's fine.
Yeah. This is life in Eorzea.
Speaking of new mounts, we're not only be getting the ones from the Garo crossover, we are getting a Demon Lanner from Zervan. We are also getting a Phoenix mount for getting all the burbs.
Firebird, I think it's called.
Something like that. Well, I've seen it referred to as a Phoenix.
Firebird and Phoenix are often
Yep.
interchangeable names used for the same
Yep.
thing. We'll see if it actually, given that Phoenix is already established as something else in Eorzea.
Yep. As well, but I mean, it's a different look to the mount as well. It's not the same as the other Lanners.
Well, it's kind of like how they had the various elemental ponies, and then Kieran was a bit different.
Yep. But I mean, this one's got a little bit more of a established neck and a bigger, more pronounced beak. It's a very nice looking mount, and I'm going to have to go burb farming. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to learn how to do Ford and Nidhogg.
I need to get through Nidhogg. I need to get through Sophia.
Yeah. I will totally run all of those because I am like 3 triple triad cards from getting the 150 achievement.
But you have to keep with us until we get all burbs.
That was the other thing I did during the holidays. I played a lot of triple triad.
I signed in, did stuff, and then signed out.
Dude, I played against Swift for like 3 freaking hours to get that Raubon card.
Congratulations.
I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
And we're also getting the flying chair that was teased back at in Vegas. That's coming in 3.5.
That is a very silly chair. I feel like that's just like, if you're flying around on that, I would be constantly worried about falling off of it. It feels like it'll tip.
Here's the funny thing that I'm thinking about. How's that going to work with diving in 4.0?
Oh man, I would love it if like when you hit the water, the chair just does like a little tip thing and dumps your character off of it.
That would be hilarious, but it's a flying mount. It's going to be able to dive. Same with the bombs.
I really can't wait.
It gets a little submersible bubble.
Now, what's going to happen with the bombs? That's the other thing. The bomb chair.
Oh no, it's going to extinguish them. My immersion, literally.
It's fine. There's no elemental resistant weakness in Final Fantasy 14.
You're right.
My immersion.
Another thing that we saw, there was a Famitsu.com article that showed a lot of cool screenshots. We'll be linking that as well as the patch page out on the website as soon as this gets posted. The one thing that I did notice on all this, the animal weapon appears to come in part 2.
I'm okay with that. I'm still not quite done with... I'm still back on the Umbrite step.
I don't know if it'll be part 2 or part 1.
It's grayed out currently if you go look at the page.
Yeah, normally they update those trailer sites a few items at a time, so it's possible that they'll add more to it.
Yeah, but
they don't really add more until just before during patch notes normally.
But we knew about Anima Steps relatively well in advance before their release.
So, out of curiosity, one of the other things that's grayed out is that custom deliveries thing. I think that's referring to the new content with Zloe Aliapo. Do you remember when they said they were doing that? Whether that was 3.5 or 3.55?
They didn't specify that either. And the other thing that's died out is that's grayed out is the diadem.
Well, diadem is later on, isn't it?
Exactly. That one's been confirmed for 3.55 or part 2. So I'm wondering if those other 2 pieces are also going to be part 2.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait to confirm it, but it's possible. 9
days. We'll find out. So that's a lot of the 3.5 information that we've been given. So like I said, when we come to you guys live next in 2 weeks, we will be talking about what we're seeing in 3.5. We'll determine whether or not we were right about Zloe and the Anima weapon step, and we'll kind of go from there.
I am pretty sure my best friend is going to be doing slash spectacles nonstop.
Oh yeah, the emotes are a thing too, and hairstyles.
Can I just say, I am in love with that. Like that classy little glasses adjust. The middle one even does it with like the middle finger pushing it up, like you're that horrible scheming bastard who's going to do something really magnificent in the second act.
Well, I am definitely going to be...
I hate it, and I am in love with it.
I'm going to be glamoring the sunglasses back after I get that, so...
Same. I might try and make a Master Roshi's glamour. Master Roshi.
Maybe they'll give us like a glamour slot just for glasses, so we can go buy glasses with everything.
I know that. I would love to have glasses and a hat. Please, Square Enix.
It's a recognized fetish. You have so much you could appeal to.
Please. And crafting from retainers.
Ignore him. Get the glasses. That's the important bit.
Yeah, the glasses are the only part. End game is glamour. Anything else doesn't matter.
If you guys have anything that you guys want to speculate on with us regarding 3.5 coming out, like I said, go ahead and get in touch with us. Podcast at phoenixstarradio.com, at PHXDN Radio, or at our website, phoenixstarradio.com. So, Stormblood, June 20th. I am so hype. I need to take that week off.
Did they say it was late spring, early summer? What was the thing that they said?
Early summer.
They even gave a
Okay,
release
because
date.
I was going to say, if they were saying late spring, June 20th would technically be the latest day they could do it that would still be spring.
Yeah, they said early summer. So actually, technically, this is the first day of summer this year.
Let me see when the solstice is.
I think the solstice is the 20th this year.
Yeah, Tuesday, June 20th at 9:24 p.m.
So we're actually going to be playing it in spring because early access.
Assuming that they don't get delayed.
Yeah. Pre-orders start January 24th. So prepare for the Square Enix store to be down for half the day.
I shall be there all day.
What day is that of the week? I need to check.
Which one? The 20th?
24th.
The Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. So I'm going to have to make sure that, because I know I won't have that day off, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm paying attention to when it goes live on the store so I can be at my desk and refreshing the page and ready with my credit card info to get the collector's edition.
Same here.
Must have physical collector's edition.
I've got the Heaven's War Collector's Edition. I've got the Realm Reborn Collector's Edition. I've got the 1.0 Collector's Edition.
See, I don't have the ARR Collector's Edition because I had the 1.0 Collector's Edition.
Yeah, I didn't know about the transfer over up before I pre-ordered it.
Oh, I knew about it, so that's why I didn't even buy 1.0. I ended up buying it for the PS3 just so I could have it on that. And get the extra free month.
Free collectors.
Like I said, I'm a PC master race. Get on my level, scrub. But no, I bought it for the extra free month.
Mine's still sealed.
Well, I activated it, so because you had to open it to get the code.
Yeah, I think I bought it for.
Well, no, because you
access
got the
something or another.
you got the 1.0 transferred over, didn't you, to all the collectors stuff?
But that's all PC stuff. So, but you still had to have, you still had to open it up to get your code.
The license? No, I got a license from Square.
How did I not realize that? Anyway, so moving on. A lot of cool goodies coming with the collector's edition, including the chicken knife.
Yes.
The chicken rapier, thank you.
Well, they're calling it the chicken knife.
Well, they're wrong.
Well, that's what it's called in 5.
But that wasn't a fencing sword.
It's the chicken knife. Because you shove a
You're a
chocobo.
chicken knife.
You shove a chocobo on the end of it.
I felt bad for that chocobo.
Yeah, poor chocobo's butt. It is confirmed we're going to Alamigo. It is confirmed that our level cap is increasing to 70. We are getting more inventory space.
Woo!
We are getting multiple new jobs. Whether that multiple is 2 or 3 is yet to be confirmed. There was that deleted tweet from Square Enix that said 1 of 2 new jobs has been confirmed.
So that could have been some social media intern screwing things up.
Exactly. So we don't know. That's not clarification that it is only 2 jobs. But we'll see. Red Mage.
I really think it'll only be 2.
But Red Mage, my baby, has been confirmed and has been shown off. And it is amazing. I mean, it is beautiful. They did such a good job on the AF. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it plays like. What they've showed us so far, it appears to be it's classified as ranged magic DPS. But it has a melee component to it.
I saw some of the comments where they were talking about it involves rapid repositioning around the battlefield to do both ranged magic and up-close physical attacks.
So I'm assuming that there's going to be some job ability that's going to be like a gap closer that you get into melee range. You do your spell sword stuff. You enhance your sword, so now you do your enhanced sword play, and then you use a quick jump back to get back into ranged range, and you start chain spelling.
Yeah, they had mention of some kind of chain spell mechanic, which the double cast or chain spell or whatever type thing is one of the other iconic things for red mages. So I'm happy that they've gotten some way to get that in there.
And that
if you're going to do the
hat!
homage to it.
That hat! It is amazing.
Oh my god, what is it with you people with fedoras with feathers in them?
It is amazing.
Have you seen me?
Yes.
I mean, even FanFest, I had my hat with the feather.
I am aware. I am choosing my words carefully at this juncture.
It is pimp. And anybody who says otherwise is wrong.
It is a hat.
By the way, auto attacks will work from range as a red mage, by the way.
So here's one of the questions that I'm wondering. It's a spell that's not in the game yet. Are we going to get Dia?
Probably.
It's a white mage spell that's not in the game yet.
They did say it does get a mix of black magic and white magic.
So I'm betting haste is a spell. I'm betting Dia is a spell.
I do wonder about haste. Like, if 11 taught us anything, you got to play really carefully with haste.
Yeah.
They just make it so that haste is AoE.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I know one of the big things, though, that might have been an artifact of the itemization, was once you got a bit of haste, haste became more. And it became this thing where it was the stat to dominate all other stats.
But the thing is, at that point, it was a stat. It wasn't an enhancement.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. There was also an enhancement, but it enhanced the stat.
Right. If they are going to do anything with haste, I would really like it if they stepped carefully.
Haste is in the game right now. It's in Somal. Or no. The other one. What's that dungeon? Sorkai, excuse me.
It also shows up randomly in Palace of the Dead, but it's not something that can be used in a very limited number of situations, and you have very limited ways to invoke it.
Now, has anybody actually seen what it does? Is there anybody who's seen the behind the scenes implementation of what haste does? Does it take your main stat, whether it's your spell speed or skill speed? Does it enhance that? Is it one or the other?
I am not sure if that's been math crafted yet. I can look into that.
Wait, doesn't Astrologian have some sort of haste, really, in a way?
They've got light speed. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I'm thinking of the card buff that increases everyone's.
Yeah, that increases.
The arrow.
But is that skill speed or spell speed or both?
Hang on. Someone who is actually an astrologian can answer, but if not, I'll look.
Yeah, see,
I'm not an astrologian. I have it, but I'm not really.
See, I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking the questions. Because I mean, if haste,
I know, I'm looking it up,
enhances whatever speed, skill and spell speed, then
the arrow increases skill, spell, and auto attack speed by 10%.
Okay, so if
haste just does that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if it just is a straight up increase to the stats, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. No, for skill and spell speed.
Yeah.
Then it's not going to be overpowered, and it only lasts for say 18 seconds.
But I mean it's not just is this overpowered? There's also does it become something where unless there's a red mage, get the fuck out.
Well, the thing is, you're going to also have an Astro, and I don't know if they're going to stack.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing I would worry about was it became a thing again in 11 where you had a couple jobs like, if you're going to do XP parties, you have to have a bard. And it became this thing where, I mean, we already have everything's dependent on having a couple classes that are in shorter supply. If you bottleneck it even more, that box, I understand that's probably not going to happen. That's just the thing I get very paranoid about.
Well, the only time that really happened was during Second Coil, when you basically had to have a summoner in your turn 7 party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as it's a DPS, even though if it has a haste buff that buffs the DPS, if its DPS isn't the same as, say, another DPS that they add or some of the new abilities, then that could balance it as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they come up with, but I would like to see something that kind of harkens back a little bit to the Final Fantasy XI Red Mage. But I know it won't become a refresh whore. I'll tell you that much.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get. I did joke. Someone was complaining about all the FanFest stuff that in Novice Network. I said, fine, I'll contact Square Enix, and the only spell Red Mage now will get is refresh. It just gets multiple versions of refresh.
Yep.
One for each different type of job. So you get one for Ender Chain, one for Grease Lightning. Yeah, refresh of the dragon, refresh lightning, refresh chain. And then you have to balance it based on the job you have in your party.
Chille, you're fired.
Don't forget refresh beast for the warriors.
There you go.
You guys are trying to make me quit the game, aren't you?
Do I get your stuff if you do?
No.
Do I get to laugh?
No.
Refresh flow for Aether flow.
Chille.
Chille, that one's just ridiculous. I don't know what you were even thinking.
So,
Aether fresh.
all right. So
There we go.
the other job thing that has been teased is, well, Yoshi wore a Spider-Man shirt.
Beastmaster confirmed.
There's been a lot of speculation on this one.
Most of the not all, but most of the speculation I've heard have been people who already wanted a particular job and are trying to use it to justify why it definitely will be that one.
Yeah.
Often based on the most random reasoning.
I think there are two that make great sense. And they're the two jobs that are teased the most. The two that I think it's either going to be Blue Mage or Samurai.
I think out of those two, I really think it's more Blue Mage.
Okay, well,
I don't know. I feel like I lean more towards it being Samurai.
see, and that's why those two are the strongest contenders, and here's the reasons why I'm thinking it's one of those two, or maybe both. Blue Mage,
Maybe a big Green Mage.
Okay, Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider, gained spider powers. Blue Mages get their power from beasts. It's very similar.
Croc got his powers by trying to turn himself into a croc.
Yes, but we're talking about Spider-Man here.
Yeah, but it's part of Spider-Man lore.
But we're talking Spider-Man here.
Yeah, but it's part of Spider-Man lore, so...
Well, you can then also talk about Doc Ock and maybe and Ultros as a class confirmed.
Yes.
Yeah, like you can only stretch it so far.
Exactly. The other one, it's a bit of a stretch, but it also does make full sense. The first 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire were directed by Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi, in when pronounced in Japanese, is very close to samurai. Samu Raimi. Samurai confirmed. I don't know, but that's the other one that people are talking about.
Wait there. Samurai directed Spider-Man. Spider-Man had Toby in. Emo Toby did dancing in Spider-Man 3. Dancer confirmed.
Yeah,
that's
the type of thing I've heard.
Yeah, there's a lot of other ones. The fact that Puppet Master, Spider-Man shoots webs out. Webs are like strings. Strings are around puppets. Puppet Master confirmed.
Like, every one of these feels like it should end in Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Oh, wow, Half-Life 3? Oh, my God. The other one, actually the one that I like the most, is the fact that it's freelancer. Peter Parker is a freelance photographer.
Adventure confirmed.
If this means that I start getting Final Fantasy V outfits, I'm okay with that.
Or,
I have no idea how this job would work or if it even makes sense, but I'm okay.
No, this is how we're going to introduce the Final Fantasy 15 crossover. Prompto class confirmed.
Prompto's enthusiasm endears him to me. I'm okay with this.
Jump Crystal just turns you into a Lalafell. Lalafell's confirmed.
So we'll have to see what happens in February during the EU Fan Fest to see what other jobs we get. Moving on, other things that have been confirmed so far, swimming and diving. Swimming will be available in some 2.0 areas like Costa.
Dude, if I can't go swimming at Mist, I vote we move the Free Company house.
I'm betting Mist is going to be... I bet they're going to bring swimming into all of the housing areas.
Oh, man, you've got that...
How are they going to do it in the Goblet?
A pool.
Yeah, you've got that big old pool there. It would be the height of Uldon excess.
That's true. Diving will only be in 4.x areas. And flying mounts will be able to swim and dive. Like I said, how's that bomb palanquin gonna work, huh?
Yeah.
I just can't
Like-
wait for my fat chocobo.
There'll be steam all around them because they're superheating the water.
Well, we're gonna be able to breathe anyway, so it doesn't that's not gonna matter.
It's like, have you ever seen those videos where you drop like that screaming hot ball of like nickel iron into a thing of water, and it makes that huge popping thing because it's heating the water so fast that it boils away before it can actually touch it?
No, and no matter how many times YouTube recommends it to me, I am not gonna watch it.
But it's so cool!
No.
Oh, okay. Klauss sucks. Moving on.
New beast tribe, the Ananta. They are basically they are where the Lamias were derived from. They have been around since the Allegan times and even before.
Yeah.
And they worship Lakshmi, the Lady of Bliss.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the modern Lamia, you see, at least the ones that showed up in Sastasha hard mode, they talked about how it was overexposure to water aspected ether.
Mhm.
So one could imagine that the Allegans purposely created a race this way.
So
It'll be interesting to see, like what their story is, if they are aware of their created status, how they handle that.
yeah. Well, no, I thought these guys were actually before them, so they were experimented on, and they became, and then the Lamia derived from the Ananta. Not like how the Ixal came from the Iskalian.
Oh, you're saying like the Ananta started off like you had these Lamia, and then like these kind of evolved and changed over time.
No, I'm saying the Ananta were first.
Oh, yeah, but the link to the Lamia is good. At least they've already established that the stuff that showed up in Sastasha was the drowned of Leviathan, who were mutated by continued exposure to water aspect.
Oh, I guess I missed that point. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, there can be some tie-in if the Ananta were created through similar methods, like exposure of various things to various types of ether. We all know about those various etherochemical experiments the Allegan engaged in.
Yep. And it's possible that the quote unquote drowned wenches were actually escaped Lamia.
That feels like that might be stretching a little too much.
No, I mean it makes just as much sense.
It feels a little too contrived.
Well, let's ask Koji. Somebody get the Koji signal out there. Sure. Maybe Ethis knows. Who knows? Anyway, did I trigger you? Sorry.
No. This is fine.
New raids. The new high-end raid is going to be the Bend of Time Omega. So we are going to be going into another giant mechanical monster.
Well, we might not be inside it, maybe.
Well, it depends on how big it is.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, given the name Bend of Time, and given that's the high-end raid, Omega's not going to be the only thing we face in there, is it?
Well, I mean, I'm wondering, okay, Alexander is a big mechanical thing and has time with it, so I'm wondering how much parallels are being drawn between these two high-end raids.
I mean, when you say Bend of Time, I actually think of Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. I hate to acknowledge Chrono Cross, but it's there. Like that whole thing where you have this sort of like stuff that's lost in a kind of beyond time location.
We'll have to see what the story brings of it, so and where time falls within the story.
The high-end raids do tend to have like really fun stories associated with them, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Definitely.
Wasn't Omega the first thing to seal up Bahamut?
Wasn't that the Ultima weapon?
I thought it was the Omega weapon, and then Ultima weapon was based on it.
Yeah, Ultima was first, or Omega was first. Ultima came afterwards.
I think they were both Allegan things, but I thought they were created to handle different kinds of threats.
Well, we'll find out, I guess. But where's Alpha weapon?
That's never been a thing.
That's never been a thing.
But
where's Ruby weapon?
An Emerald weapon.
And Diamond.
And Diamond, yes.
And Sapphire.
But we should have an Alpha weapon, don't you think? The first weapon? Come on, that'd be cool.
Oh, hang on, I'm fine. So Omega was created as a weapon to stand toe-to-toe with Bahamut and was kind of his warden inside of Dalamud, apparently.
Ah, so he dropped after Dalamud blew up?
Yep, that's why he's underneath Cartano.
Gotcha. I'm ignoring the chat right now because Paul's being a troll. The new Alliance raid is going to feature a couple of guest creators. The previously mentioned Kaita Amamiya from Garo, Shin Megumi Tensei 4, Onimusha 2 and 3. There's some of his past credits. As well as Yasumi Matsuno, who is well known for Final Fantasy 12, Tactics, and Vagrant Story.
Oh, I will always give an upvote to Vagrant Story.
So he is definitely the perfect person to have for Return to Ivalice. Now, what's the tie-in? Is Ivalice going to turn into a place on Hydaelyn?
It's already been established that somewhere on the continent of Ilsabard is a city called Dalmasca, which is a desert city.
And Rabanastre.
And we do also have the Zodiac weapons and the legendary Zodiac Braves that existed in times past. So, like, they've been planting seeds for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, or is this going to end up being something like we end up going to one of the other worlds, one of the other 13 split worlds, which one of them ends up being Ivalice?
Well, I don't think we'll go to one.
I'm just thinking of different ideas where it could go.
Also, at this point, there's 7 split worlds, and we've been to one of them.
Yeah, I thought it was 14.
Well, yes, but every time there's the calamity, or when the Asians are pretty much warping the boundaries so hard as to collapse a world down in.
But I thought the closest world was still there.
Say again?
The closest world is still there. We just had the confirmation from the Warriors of Darkness storyline.
Yeah, but like it's not saying that the closest one. It's just saying every time they do it, maybe it's the farthest ones that collapse down in first. I don't know, but they're trying to collapse down the other worlds, and each calamity is them pretty much generating the massive world-rending stuff needed to break the barriers and collapse another one in.
Okay. Well,
7 calamities means 7 down, and one of them we've been to because we went to the Void when we did World of Darkness.
Are we sure that was that, or could that have been a different Void?
I'm pretty sure that that's like the whole thing where, hey, there's this world where the darkness won out, the balance got tipped irreparably, and that world is the Void. They outright said as much.
Now, is this the same Void that we're fighting within the Void Arc?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got all those voids, all those creatures that come from that other world, that summoners create bodies for them in this world, and then they go around and create havoc.
See, we're giving you all this wonderful lore, people. Isn't it great?
It makes me excited.
You took advantage of my librarianness.
Yes, we did. You agreed to it.
I know.
So that's going to be a thing. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how it ties into Ivalice and how that all works together. Eureka, the new exploration area that we're getting, which is supposed to be used for relic weapons and potentially gear as well as other explorative missions. Sounds like an interesting
And the 72-hour boss fight.
Yep. Well, I thought we were getting something similar to that in in Diadem 2.0 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, but it won't have a 72-hour one. It just has like you fight for a bit and then you go into the crystal and you fight some monsters.
I suppose that one's based off of different things you do.
Yeah. I
can't think of the word right now. I've been drinking.
Well, they called it like a carnival, didn't they?
No.
I'm sure I remember Eureka being called something like that.
The Forbidden Land of Eureka?
Yeah.
No, I think they were talking about Final Fantasy 14 in general as being an amusement park MMO. And I remember what you're talking about now. He referred to Final Fantasy 14, I guess, as a amusement park MMO, but not everybody goes to all the rides, and Eureka is one of the rides.
Okay,
that's what that is. We're getting the various UI and system changes, and
Forbidden maybe a place that is created as a theme park. I remember that as well.
But I mean, it's still the same kind of idea where it's like, hey, you've got all this stuff, but not everyone's going to be into everything, and you can't necessarily expect that everyone does everything.
We'll see what they talk. Maybe we'll get more information in Frankfurt.
Maybe, because they're keeping it a bit too secretive for now. We know what it is, kind of, and what it's kind of for, but we don't.
Well, we
know
know
how.
what they've given us so far with Diadem and the things they've teased for Diadem 2.0.
Yeah, but they said Eureka's not much like Diadem.
Exactly. So we don't know anything about Eureka then, except that it's a thing
And it'll have relic weapons.
and stuff.
And it was a thing in Final Fantasy 3.
Yes, but it's not going to be like
So
3.
Well, we can probably expect at least some nods to it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to be like you're not going to get all the most powerful weapons and armor there, handed to you in a chest. You'll probably have to work really hard to build up
The chest
special
will have
weapons.
a monster in it, and then you get the loot.
But the monster
Maybe
has
it's confirmed.
MSG. That's bad.
You are butchering that quote, and if you do it, I'm going to try to do the entire quote properly. So let's just keep moving.
We can say goodbye to PS3. So that's a good thing.
Woo.
So that's, in a nutshell, the things that have been confirmed in the last 2 FanFests. So that leaves a lot of things wide open for us. Like we talked about, what are the other jobs we're getting? Is it dancer? Is it samurai? Is it blue mage? Is it chemist? Is it Peter Parker? What is it?
Oh, Peter Parker, valet! It'll be a thing all about, like, directing and parking chocobos.
You're fired.
From a cannon into the sun.
Yes, all of that.
But what about my lore sections?
We'll get Ethos to join us.
It's not the same.
He'd be delightful.
It's still not the same.
Well, okay, we'll make Seyrr record them before we shoot them off in the cannon.
That seems reasonable.
All right. So this is the one. Not a lot of people have been talking about it, but why are we getting swimming and diving?
Yeah, it feels
Why-
a little weird to go to the trouble of implementing all that if there's not some kind of payoff for it.
Yeah. Why are we getting Final Fantasy X minions for the FanFest?
I called it before. I totally called it. We're getting blitzballs.
Yes, that's my guess.
I didn't even think about it until just now, but I'm hoping as a side thing that they finally bring back Fisher's offhand of the spear fishing.
Well,
That'd be
that's
cool.
definitely a possibility with the underwater fishing we're getting.
Exactly.
But no, I'm thinking that the new PvP that we're getting is going to be Blitzball. Not going to require the Grand Companies, which is going away in 3.5. So, yeah, that would be a wonderful thing. You can swim around, underwater. You can throw giant Blitzballs at people, and it'll be wonderful.
I even
Man,
have my own lore in my head.
they'd probably have to retranslate a lot of the abilities, or maybe just give different abilities to have it be the underwater thing.
Totally,
Maybe.
it's not going to be. You're not going to fight people. You've played Blitzball in 10, right?
I have. I'm just wondering, like, how you keep that interesting as a thing that people will keep playing in that case.
I'm betting that each of the different classes is going to have access to different types of shots and abilities.
Tanks make great goalies.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe the ranged DPS are going to be really good at doing things like the Withering Pass and Venom Pass, and your melee DPS is going to be good with, like, maybe they'll be able to do Jack Shot. Who knows? Just different
Well,
options.
I totally have the lore in my head. The Garlands built the Blitzball arena to stop the Amigos from complaining too much.
They spiked the water with LSD.
Well, no, they just
Not everything needs to be a Futurama reference.
Okay, so they put Hypnotoad in the middle instead.
No, they just
What
had
did
it
I
there
just
because
say?
they built the arena and then
You
do
just said-
tournaments every so often to keep them calm.
I just heard you say.
Oh, hell, Hypnotoad.
I love the ballet.
You could also have it just be like some kind of traditional training exercise with the Fists of Rhalgr.
However they do it, I just hope that we get it. I want the Blitzballs.
I hope the Bisage Aurochs are there.
I mean, we do have Aurochs as a thing that show up in the world of Eorzea, so
Yeah, we can
you
all
could
be
totally
part of
have
the
a sport
Aurochs,
team
yeah.
called the Aurochs.
Well, at least we're not going ha 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 ha.
Hey, I liked that scene, thank you.
Oh, you like that, yeah?
Chille, take a note. 1 gut punch for Klauss.
Will do.
All right, moving
Thanks.
on. So we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but how does Ivalice tie into the Alliance raid? That's something we need to figure out. You know, where exactly the it is, or the lore behind Ivalice on in 14.
I mean, there's a very large mountain range separating Eorzea from Ilsabard and Othard, so that is not super easily crossed. If we're actually going there, like, how?
Sid builds a massive airship.
We can't just have Sid build a bigger airship every time we have a problem.
Why not?
That's lazy writing.
But he
And
can
then we
do it.
have Captain Watchgood from 12 lead the ship.
Balthier?
That's it, yeah.
But then he'll become the main character. He is the leading man. And then we'll have to believe Ondor's lies and shit.
Don't believe Ondor's lies.
Don't believe all those lies.
Oh my god, I hope they work that in somehow.
And then the last big question that I think a lot of people have is, how will jump potions actually be implemented? We know they're coming. Whether
For
you like it
money.
or not, they're coming.
Yeah.
I like it because it means I might actually use it on an ult or two.
That is actually one of the use cases they talked about, where like you have someone who's an experienced player who does want to start trying a particular one, but does not have the time in their day-to-day life to actually go and level it up all the way through.
Or let's say, maybe, like I said, we're on Primal Data Center. Maybe we have friends who are on the Aether Data Center. We want to get going playing with them.
Yeah.
It's going to take a very long time to get up to level 70.
A lot of my friends are actually very happy about the upcoming cross-server party finder.
Yeah, which we forgot to talk about, but yeah, it's coming up in 3.5.
Yeah, but like they're excited about it, but I do have a couple friends who are on a different data center entirely. So
you either have to pay the
Still a little bit.
$18 to do a server transfer, or which actually would be the cheaper option at this point.
Yeah.
Because if we were to go by the current prices, it would cost about $50 to level up an alt.
I thought it was
but then
20.
you're also leveling behind a bunch of friends.
Yeah,
Or
well, no,
leaving behind.
It's they said it was $21 to $25 per potion, and 2 potions are required for the job and the story skip.
But
Yeah.
the server transfer though would require you to leave a bunch of friends behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, ostensibly, if you just pay for the job jump, how quickly could you charge through the story?
It would still be quite a few hours.
Yeah, but I mean, like
But if
pretty
you're
much
with
all the
your
dungeons
friends-
you could do unsynced.
Yeah.
But just the sheer amount of fetch quests, you're still looking at about 30 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're doing it with friends, it won't be as bad. I mean, I know you still got to do the fetch quest, but you don't have to level up, so I don't see the worry about doing that, really.
Yeah, you could actually skip over a fair amount of the side quests because you wouldn't need to worry about your level. I mean, I'm not saying it would be fast, but if you're trying to economize, it would be an option.
Because I'm sure your friends will be happy to wait a few weeks.
Yeah.
Depends.
But I mean, if you have, presumably you have friends on your previous server, and being told to leave them behind is a bit of a rough thing. So.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's why having multiple characters is an option for a lot of people. But
yeah.
All right, so
I look forward to playing with you guys on Primal though, with the cross pie.
yeah, too bad we can't figure out a way to get like a room like this where we can have your normal character in with us
So
like
you're
this.
saying that you want to get a room with Chille.
Oh my!
Giggity.
I ship this.
I don't even have anything clever to say on that. So, if you guys have any speculation of what's coming forth in Stormblood, let us know. We'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Podcast at phoenixstormradio.com, at PHXDN Radio on Twitter, or we are also on Facebook. It's facebook.com/PhoenixStormRadio. So, with Stormblood looming out there, the patron deity of Alamigo is one destroyer, the breaker of worlds, be Rhalgr. Our lore segment is going to be talking about this badass deity. Seyrr, why don't you go ahead and take it away, sir?
Sure thing. So, as Klauss said, Rhalgr is known as Rhalgr the Destroyer, or the Breaker of Worlds. He is the god of destruction and the guardian deity of Alamigo. So we can definitely look forward to seeing a bit of an expansion on his role, a lot of the faith around him, other things like that. In Alamigo, there actually is a monastic order called the Fists of Rhalgr. The monk techniques that we learned are based on their monastic techniques, and they use their intense martial training to harness the ether in their bodies, which allows them to perform physical feats that they believe bring them closer to their god, give them his destructive power. Which is a little bit interesting, given that normally Rhalgr gets associated with black mages, with magic, so having that physical aspect of it is kind of an interesting spin on it. Now, Rhalgr is associated with the 8th month of the Eorzean year and the element of lightning. He is typically shown as a mage carrying a bronze staff, and his symbol is the streaking meteor. So you have usually a circle with to represent the meteor, with a couple little triangles along the top, to sort of the equivalent of speed lines as it is falling to Earth. For those of you who have finished a Zodiac Zeta weapon, you can actually engage in a side quest that involves helping Geralt create the ultimate kettle, and those finished kettles do actually bear Rhalgr's mark. Several of them do look like they're about to go critical. I am fairly sure the one in front of our Free Company house is about to level the neighborhood. I really don't know who thought it was a good idea to take the power of the God of Destruction and put it into a device that we're going to use to brew tea.
Sounds like something from Dragon Ball.
Like, this just seems like really misapplied magic. Does no one consider these things?
No.
Oh, that would explain a lot.
It's just blow stuff up.
Yeah.
And do it efficiently.
So Rhalgr was created by and serves as the attendant to Nymea the Spinner, and is the adoptive father of Halone the Fury and Biragott the Builder, pretty much at the insistence of Nymea. Now, Biragott, being very much into building, creation, crafting, was not really a fan of his new dad, and ended up spending most of his time with Thaliak the Scholar. Halone really liked a lot of Rhalgr's teachings, but she really got more into the blood and battle and combat, and turned it to be more about killing and fighting, which is not really the kind of destruction that Rhalgr is about. Going back to the creation myth, at least one of the best ones that we have available, which again I still have doubts about, but in that myth, Rhalgr was given form by Nymea in order to counteract the chaos that was being created by a lot of the other gods of Eorzea. So you had a bunch of already existing deities that were responsible for the creation of these various natural features. Ulshan was raising the mountains, Thaliak was bringing forth rivers, and Limlayan was creating the seas. So you've got a lot of these various things kind of shaping the face of the world, but these guys were pretty much just creating and changing the world at a whim. Seas bringing up from out of nowhere and swallowing the land, mountains rising and falling at a whim. It was kind of creating a really chaotic mess. And so Nymea looks at all this, is very unhappy with this, reaches into the heaven and pulls a mighty comet out of its orbit. She gives that comet life and sends it down to Eorzea to destroy the excess her sons and daughters had wrought.
Final Fantasy VII confirmed?
Not quite. Sephiroth had a very different goal in mind there. Honestly, when I read that, it put me in mind of a mom who comes along, sees the mess that her kids have made, leaving all their toys out. She's like, enough is enough, and she just sweeps all of them off the kitchen table.
Titan table flip confirmed?
Sure. Only instead of flipping it, she goes and brings a comet to life and sends it down to flip the table.
Oh, wow. That sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
Nymea does not fuck around. You think she's this beautiful, innocent weaver, just spinning her thread. Nope, she's grabbing a comet and throwing it down at the stuff her kids are making.
Nymea is Malcolm's mom?
Yeah, actually, I can see that. So, you got Rhalgr as this force to kind of balance out the creation of the other gods, keep them from overwhelming the realm, and it kind of brings things back into harmony, at least until we start getting the next set of gods and they start having their own complications. The deities that came after Rhalgr, they kind of deal with more civilized aspects of the world, building, combat, trade. Rhalgr, I kind of see as one of the last of the gods of nature. It's taking all these natural processes, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, and he's adding this kind of destructive thing to it, this thing that kind of clears out the slate. Now, Rhalgr is described as the Destroyer, but he's not just about smashing things and laying them to waste. I really like that he has the title of the Destroyer because there's a real world deity who fulfills the same role and also has the title of the Destroyer, and that would be Shiva from Hinduism. Now, Shiva the Destroyer is not at all the same as the Shiva of Eorzea who fell in love with the dragon. This one is actually usually depicted as male and as one of the aspects of kind of this triple god, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. Now, in this case, those three aspects and this aspect of the Destroyer, it's kind of this aspect of growth. If you have unchecked creation, it kind of chokes itself. Like if you have, say, a forest where you've got lots of dead brush, you've got trees growing like crazy, you've got like this kind of old, rotting, decaying situation here. The destruction is the way that you clear out a lot of that old, make space for new things to grow. And I thought it was kind of interesting that you have this view in Eorzean religion of the Destroyer as something that clears out the old and allows new growth. Because you've got the calamities, you've got these instances of massive destruction. And for a lot of them, it was something where you had this kind of old, stagnant, decaying system that ended up being just cleared out by the calamity and created a space to kind of start afresh. You had the Allegan Empire, which was reaching this point where it was about to allow the void unchecked into our world before it was destroyed. The circus tower was destroyed in that earthquake. You have the War of the Magi, where again you have this connection to the void, where you've got the summoning of void sent by the Maquis, like this really reaching too far, getting bogged down in the sword, and then this flood that comes to sweep it all away. So for the destruction does seem to be associated with this like clearing out of the old bad system and a chance to kind of start afresh, give it a chance for new things to grow before you reach this like really point of no return.
And then we cheat it by going forward in time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the seventh calamity is one that's a bit strange. What exactly was the goal there? I mean, the Garleans would argue that, hey, we're clearing out this relic of the past, this belief in primals, this summoning, this thing that again is putting the realm in danger. Which, I mean, they may have some amount of a point about. Though that attempt to clear it out hasn't been successful, it seems like we've had more summonings than ever as a result of it.
Damn Asians.
Yeah. Though, again, the particulars of this calamity means that it unfolded in a way that was very different from a lot of the previous ones. And one other thing about Rhalgr is just, in looking at him and looking at those various aspects, there's this really interesting fascination with meteors and this recurrence of the meteors in Eorzean history. I mean, you've got there we are. You've got that meteor project, of course, which wasn't quite the same as a lot of the others. That was pretty much just, hey, we've got this ancient satellite. We're gonna activate the thrusters on it and steer it into the planet.
Woo!
But it kind of inspired by a lot of those previous stories. You've got one thing for those of you who paid attention through all the various churning Miss Smoogle's quests and didn't just like skip through them as quickly as possible while offering death threats. Moglin, the ruler of the Moogles, talks about events in ancient history where fire rained from the skies. And it was at that time that a band of Mughals were sent down to the world below, which is where we get the Mughals of the Twelves Wood. There's other sources that suggest that the various floating land masses above Abelathia's spine, the stuff in the churning mist, the sea of the clouds, all of that was once a single landmass that was somehow broken apart. Given that rain of fire, given that we do have that previous calamity of fire, part of me wonders if this was something where, again, there was some kind of meteor or other thing from the sky that crashed into it, caused it to break apart, gave us the floating masses that we have today. Also on Eorzean meteor history, we do have Shatoto, definitely not Shantoto. They actually are very clear that the two are not the same person. But Shatoto, the legendary mage from the 5th Astral Era and the creator of black magic, was supposedly the first person to cast a meteor summoning spell. Apparently because she was bored.
That definitely sounds like Shantoto.
I mean, there are similarities. I will totally grant that. The fragments of dark matter taken from that meteor were used to create the Stardust Rod, the weapon that black mages recreate as part of the Zodiac Weapon quest line.
That Shantoto likes to use.
Did Shantoto ever actually use a Stardust Rod? I'm not quite sure that one showed up in 11.
Oh, it did.
Let me check really quick. Oh, internet, I love you. No, it does not look like there's an actual that game. I mean, there's a number of other relic staves and the like, but there's not actually an item called the Stardust Rod. That is something that recurs in a lot of Final Fantasy games, but didn't show up there at least. But so yeah, you've got this meteor motif, this destruction from the sky that shows up a lot in Eorzean history. So it's not that surprising that their god of destruction would come to be associated with it. I mean, it's this calamitous thing that comes from the heavens that destroys a lot, but also often leaves a lot in its wake to sort of a chance at new growth. And I could see how a lot of those historical events could color that picture they have of Rhalgr and their understanding of destruction.
By the way, one last thing. The achievement for getting that rod is oh ho 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 ho.
Well, sure, but the achievement for leveling a Lancer up is called Strong Lance Arm. Are you suggesting that we have some kind of doping bicyclist here in Eorzea?
Well, it would explain why dragons like to fall over.
Now, a lot of those are winks and nods to the references, and Shatoto is definitely a reference to the Shantoto that we know and are deeply, deeply afraid of from Final Fantasy XI. But the other thing I would note is that Shantoto herself has visited Eorzea. They did have that collaboration event a couple years back where you could get a wind-up Shantoto, among other things. Yeah, the one that we have here, I think, again, was inspired by, but is a different person from.
So I still think it's like, as this person said, I think it's a mistranslation of her name that's been passed over through the years.
I mean, I don't know. It had been said on the forums that no, Shatoto was not a misspelling, that it was intentionally spelled that way.
Okay.
Like, that was something that players did ask about, and Koji did confirm is that, no, that is the correct spelling. But, so that's what we know about Rhalgr so far. Again, with Stormblood coming up, with the Fists of Rhalgr as a very important part of Alamegan society, though given the Garlean insistence on atheism, it's probably one that's been stamped out a bit. But it'll be interesting to see just what more we find out about him, about all these various aspects, about the political control that the Fists of Rhalgr wielded on Alamigo. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, there's rumors that that's what we see in the trailer. Yeah, this 3.5 trailer.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the 3.5 trailer. I was thinking of the Stormblood trailer there, which is shown to be that fight happening on top of that giant statue. Is supposed to be a depiction of Rhalgr, I believe.
Well, but I think what Chille is talking about, are you talking about the end part where they're fighting on the wall?
Yeah, with the blue diamond sphere.
Yeah, so the summoning that gets completed?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
rumor is that he's released, and that's why we see a mega weapon. The mega's weapon's there to seal him, just like he was used for Bahamut. And then maybe Nero steals it afterwards.
Maybe. I mean, it is something that in the main scenario, there was that moment when you're visiting Little Alamigo in the Thanalan Desert that an Ascian is trying to convince the use of Alamigo to summon Rhalgr.
And they've got Nidhogg's eye to use for summoning.
Both of them.
Yeah.
So we'll have to
We
see
are
what.
really bad at cleaning up after ourselves.
Well,
I really think the summoning happens because of all the killing we do.
so it's all Alphinaud's fault.
In the wall. Yeah, because with the whole that I really think because we talk about the fact that you'll send your hero, and then they'll talk about death. The summoning's complete, the death, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I believe because all that killing all the way there.
It's a compelling argument, especially since we have established that sacrifice of a living creature can be a way to empower a summoning.
Person at the top's just waiting for us to get there, and then using the fact that we've killed everything on the way there to power the summoning and the eyes.
Well, my understanding is that at least it seems like the death needs to be of someone or something that believes in it. Like you can't just kill random whatever.
What if he's forced? What if he's got believers there?
Yeah, I mean, like you can solve that certainly by capturing some Alan Megans or some other worshippers and sacrificing them. Though one wonders who would do that. The Garleans are very much against the summoning of further primals. Yeah. What you're saying absolutely can be true, and it feels more likely that it is than not. That just brings further questions about how this is going to come to pass.
What if it's a resistance member that believes that even if what if he believes that the only way to stop it is by doing it, even if it means sacrificing?
I'm perfectly willing to believe that this will happen. There's lots of plausible stories that we could come up for why it would. I think there's a lot of further questions that we're going to have as a result of this. So.
Yeah, we could keep speculating this for about 3 or 4 different days. So
yeah, we could do a lot of speculation. At this point, I don't think we have enough to do anything more than speculate.
Yeah.
So that's not as interesting that does not make for good radio. I'm not going to subject people to it here. If you want to discuss it with us in the Twitch chat or by emailing us, happy to take up the topic. It's a really fascinating one.
I love speculation just as much as actually doing it.
Yeah. It's not always the best thing to listen to.
Oh, that's not good to listen to.
Yeah. So, we do have some things that are going to be fun to listen to. Like I said, we had that contest over our break, asking people to give us reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. And a few of you did actually listen to me for once. That was amazing. Doesn't happen very often, so thank you. We ended up getting 8 new iTunes reviews, and we got 2 Stitcher reviews. So thank you for everybody who left us a review. We got an extra comment or an extra rating that did not leave a review. So whoever left that rating, thank you for that as well. But it doesn't leave me something fun to read. So with this now, we're going to go ahead and go through and read all the different ratings and reviews that we got on iTunes and Stitcher. And then we'll go ahead and pick our winners. So we'll go ahead and start at the beginning. Seyrr and Chille, I don't know if you guys have access to full iTunes, but to get to all the different reviews, you actually have to be signed into iTunes. Is that something you guys can do, or?
I don't have iTunes.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just read them off.
It's empty to load it, but mine always runs super slowly.
Gotcha. So the first review that we had was from a friend of mine way back. He said, "This is a show about Final Fantasy XIV. While I don't know the first thing about the game these guys are talking about, I do know passion when I hear it. They're all into this and they have fun doing it. If you like Final Fantasy, check it out." So that is a very nice review. Thank you for that. Our next review comes from Ahoy Vince. "Love listening to PDR. These guys and gals, so much love to Luna, make FFXIV feel so much more alive. With their witty banter and detailed analyses, they really make you remember that you're playing an MMO with a very dedicated fan base. Klauss does a great job of producing the show and keeping the topics lively and interesting. Highly recommend this podcast to new and seasoned FFXIV fans alike." Our next one comes from Lanalia. This is a really fun, solid podcast about FFXIV. They go off track fairly often, but the banter is amusing enough that I don't mind. I especially dig Seyrr's lore segment.
Woo!
It is the best.
This next one is signed by Making Friends. One of the best XIV podcasts for fapping. Only issue is picking between the girl's voice or the British guy's voice to finish on. 10 of 10.
Yes.
Um,
Oh.
This
I'm
one
uncomfortable now.
This one made me laugh so hard when it popped up. It's hilarious. Thank you, Making Friends. That was beautiful.
I love making friends.
Our next one is signed by Yathrin. Great FFXIV podcast. Genesis SOC says, good addition to your weekly FF14 episode list, but they sigh too much.
That right there.
Well, I give Seyrr a reason to sigh quite a bit, and I sigh back at him just because. So yes, we do sigh too much.
I just signed to fit in.
That's legit. I mean, like, you want to fit in, you sigh, you start smoking, you run drugs across the Colombian border. It's a thing you do.
You jump off a bridge.
Well, yeah, I mean, if everyone's jumping off a bridge, probably there's something really terrible coming down the bridge. I'll take my chances.
There you go. Daltria gave us the next one. Find that the show is very fun to listen to and covers a wide range of in-game subjects. Because I started playing the game in the last year and I am a casual player, I do find myself to be lost to some of the discussion topics, but that's my fault, not theirs. And even on weeks where the discussion is beyond where I am, the podcasters still have me laughing. I gotta hit more. Laughing with their zany interplay. Keep up the great work. So thank you for that one. And the last one is signed Friend and Lover. Okay. Have yet to play FFXIV, but is nonetheless a very enjoyable show. Love their banter. I strongly recommend it.
Hang on. How to request restraining order.
You think it's somebody you know, Seyrr?
No, that's just like two people who are like, oh, time to get sexy with the Phoenix Down radio people. I love you guys, but not like that.
Is there a problem with that?
It's a little uncomfortable. Can't we just cuddle?
Daltria also left us a review on Stitcher, so I won't read that one again. And then we have one last one. These guys are always fun to listen to. I enjoy their enthusiasm and how they play off each other. Always entertaining. So thank you to everybody who left us a review on iTunes and Stitcher. Please, even if you missed the deadline for the contest, go ahead and leave us one. It really helps us to get out there and be known in the podcasting community as well as out on iTunes and on Stitcher. We go up on the list, so we're easier to find. So, like I said, if you enjoy what you're hearing, go out to one of those two sites and leave us a review. It's really appreciated. It takes just a couple of moments, and it's one of the best things that people can do for us at this point. Aside from signing up for our Patreon. We'll skip the Patreon for today.
Hey, I signed up to the Patreons.
Oh, I thought you already were a patron.
Yeah, I did it. I cancelled it a couple of months ago and then redid it again.
Yeah. I saw that you did that, and that was greatly appreciated. Yeah. And no, you're not a host because you're paying to be a patron. So
no, I just do that.
That's right, people. You can give us money, and you don't have to be on the air.
Or no, never mind. Anyway. So that's definitely helpful. So I said we were going to pick some winners for a couple of mounts. And I will send out the codes for those. The winners are Ahoy Vince and Making Friends. I thought they had the most entertaining reviews that were left for us, so thank you very much for those. We'll also probably be contacting some other people to give out some minions. So we really do appreciate everybody who left us his reviews. But I will be in contact with Ahoy Vince and Making Friends to get them their code, and we will go from there. So thank you again.
And in the event that they are not able to fulfill their duties as Miss Eorzea, the next runner-up will become the new Miss Eorzea.
Something like that, yes. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to share before we head out? Any shout-outs or anything like that?
I'll give a shout out to my best friend Spender, who finally got his job and house in enough order that he's able to start come back and playing in the last week or two. It has been really great to hang out with you again, dude. We made it down to the 100th floor of the Palace of the Dead. It was pretty great.
Now he just needs to get into Heavensward so we can start listening to the podcast.
Indeed. I'm not going to make him listen. He'd spoil stuff. No spoiling stuff.
No, I'm saying
But
he
you
needs
should
to
start playing, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Get into Heavensward so that he can start listening to the podcast and exactly.
No, he's started the initial stuff. I think he's off mucking about somewhere in Kurthus West right now.
He should be like us and have it be level 60 in 3 days.
He wants to keep that job.
Yeah, I was unemployed at the time, so that made a difference. Chille?
Being unemployed is really helpful for your gaming.
It is. Chille, any shout-outs?
Yeah, I want to shout out to Henalia. Sorry if I said your name wrong. And Lexi Raptor. Thank you for coming over from my link shell to join the chat.
Oh, welcome, Chille's friends.
Thank you to both of you. And a shout out to Deltree, of course. It was amazing meeting you at FanFest. So it's always good to see you here. And a shout out to everyone else who's just here. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Henali, apparently. Henali.
Henali. Okay, sorry about that.
All right, and if you're new to the show, go ahead and click on that little follow button. You'll be notified when we go live. One of my plans for 2017 is to start streaming more under the Phoenix Down Radio Twitch channel. So I'm looking at getting an Elgato card so I can stream some more PS4 stuff using I know you can do it directly from the PS4, but I want to be able to utilize all my overlays and OBS and stuff like that. So I'm looking at getting an Elgato so I can stream from that, and we'll do more Final Fantasy 15. Maybe do some World of Final Fantasy, stuff like that. Shout out to Luna, who is recovering. Hopefully her plague is getting better. I noticed that she's been tweeting all the sushi she's been making tonight, and I'm kind of jelly.
But does she get the opportunity to taste any of it?
Well, I think she can taste it fine. She just can't hear anybody yelling at her for if it's bad or good.
That's like the best of both worlds there.
Shout out to everybody who's watching us live here at Twitch. Twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio, as well as everybody who's listening out on the podcast. We are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, as well as out on our website, phoenixdownradio.com. So, this was kind of nice to get back into all of this after a 4-week hiatus, getting through all the holidays. So I'm so glad we're going to get back into a regular schedule again, though. I did miss the podcast when we didn't do it over Christmas, but family's important too.
We survived the holiday. Unless it's an ironic purgatory of some sort. Is this an ironic purgatory?
Not that I'm aware of.
Would you be aware of it, though?
Not that I'm aware of.
Woohoo! Ironic purgatory!
So, for Lunavox, who is not here, but in spirit, always here, for Seyrr and for Chille, I am Klauss Nightbringer, wishing everybody a happy and a festive 2017, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.